to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulation.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast, powered by DealsOnTheD.com. Mike and Jay. Shalom, Big E. Hello, Jay.
Michael, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm doing good. Yeah. Looking forward to our 1,000th episode.
Yeah, should we bubble wrap ourselves before the day's out so that
just make sure?
Yeah, I mean, E can do whatever he wants. We'll hit 1,000 without him.
Sure.
Whether he's here or not, we'll do it.
Yeah.
But maybe we need to go dark tonight.
Yeah.
Stay safe, man.
Can you imagine, like, trip and fall, smack your head?
Anything could happen.
Now I'm rolling balls of my poop onto a tray, and you guys are like,
and we just got a microphone in front. Come on, Mike. Just say 1,000. Just say TDC.
4 for 4.
No, 1,000.
4 for 4.
No, 1,000.
4 for 4.
Shit. Good enough.
4.
Good enough.
It's like I know it sounds like he's saying 4, but he's thanking everybody. He's really, really proud of what this team has accomplished. But you're my translator. I'm just going 4 for 4.
Thank you, listeners.
4.
Members, favorite listeners. Yeah.
4.
Thank you so much.
Fuck you, Biggie. 4.
Fuck you, Biggie.
4.
Couldn't have done it without you.
4. Every 50th 4, I just lash out with. I just kind of blink weird and go, "Fuck you, Biggie." 4 for 4. Speaking of Big E, it's History Day.
Hell
today.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's also Valentine's Day. So
happy Valentine's Day. I didn't get you a card, dude. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah, I spent part of the morning running around doing that sort of thing.
Yeah. How was your Valentine's Day? Is it going well?
Well,
quite well?
The closet later on tonight will tell the tale. I will say that there was
7 to 9 minutes, right?
Well, at least. There's a bit of a hiccup at the florist this morning, which put me a bit behind. But I'm thankful that my wife loves tulips, and I don't have to deal with overpriced roses.
Yeah, there's a joke in there.
I know. Sure there is.
Tulips on the organ or something. Yeah.
No, I don't have to deal with buying, a dozen roses for $50 or some shit.
Yeah.
However, I will say this. I got a bit overcharged for a Valentine.
Ooh. Oh, well, yeah, they're going to rape you on Valentine's Day.
Well, I made the mistake of letting my little sweet pie pick it out.
Yeah.
We were at CVS a couple weeks ago, and she was like, "Oh, the Valentines are out." I'm like, "Hey, go pick one out, one that I can give your mom. Here's my only thing."
Is this card related now?
It's a card.
Okay.
I'm like, it has to say, "I love her." It's not hard to do. It's a Valentine, right?
Dude, don't they all
say,
I
do.
love you? I mean, even
so
if
she
it's
runs
the
over to the red section.
Yeah.
And she starts picking through it, and she finds one, and it's got 3 pages. It's got pop-out characters. It's got foil. It's got different colored papers and such. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Take it. Get up to the register.
Happy Hanukkah.
$7.50, dude.
Oh,
$7.50.
What did you think it was going to be?
I thought, okay, if it plays music and shit, $6 or something. $7.50.
Shame on you. If it pops out with shit and there's foil, did you say foil?
It was foiled,
dude. I'm surprised they didn't jack you for $10. Did it say I love you?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
it had all the requirements.
And I was going to say I love you in there is not even terribly necessary. I mean, that's what your pen is for.
Yeah, but it said it in 19 different ways, so I guess that's what I'm paying for. It's $7.50, man.
Yeah. Cards are a thing, man. That's a big deal.
My little sweet pie had her heart set on it.
Yeah, can't turn her down.
Couldn't do it.
You could have taught her a valuable lesson about saving and money.
It wasn't the time, Mike.
You could have had a whole economics lesson right there in CVS with Sweet Pie. Just sat down on the floor and explained why this is a bullshit purchase and not worth it.
Supply and demand, yeah. The economics of it, sure. Normally, no one would spend $7.50 for a piece of paper like this, Sweet Pie, but because it's Valentine's Day, yeah. Dude,
I kind of felt like a douche, man. I was reading, every paper, they've all got their Valentine's do's and don'ts, and make sure you book your restaurant in advance, all that hack shit. And I'm reading it, and it's like they were in this article I was reading. It was kind of alluding to, you can be that guy. Cheap guy that goes to Florist R Us or whatever local shop and buys a dozen roses.
That's creative.
And I was like, well, what the fuck's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Are you calling me a douche?
Kind of honestly, it's sort of it's sort of synonymous with New Year's Eve, like amateur night, amateur day, sort of. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if you really are in like a serious relationship, you're probably doing things throughout the year, but you know you do have to recognize Valentine's Day. So
I know, but specifically, like, what all these years have I been a douchebag that goes in and buys like a dozen or 2 dozen roses?
It's kind of a layup, honestly.
Oh,
yeah, it's kind of
Really?
easy. Yeah.
I'm not saying that's all you do. I'll get crotchless panties too.
If you're
but
super romantic, Mike, you're doing something that moves everything into the closet very quickly. Wow. No, the flower thing is honestly a bit of a punt.
yeah, but it's a necessary punt.
Sure.
It's a necessary punt. None of us like it or care, but the ladies seem to like it. I just wasn't aware that I was potentially being sniggered at behind my back because I was going in. It's like, oh, look at that guy. He's buying a dozen roses. Cute. And when I could have been buying tulips or something.
It's kind of generic, Mike. Kind of is.
Wow. Well, I think this is a PSA to anybody listening to us right now. I guess you're a douchebag if you've been buying your wife a dozen roses. You're kind of a douche.
You've been overpaying.
Sorry, I am too. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not judging. But it sounds like we all were, and I didn't know this.
Mike, you have an annual physical to make sure you're healthy.
I don't, but sure.
What do you do, asks Mark Leibovitz, to make sure that you remain financially fit? Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial specializes in thoughtful and objective investment guidance designed to keep your finances in shape. Call Mark today, 248-626-2000. Ask for Mark.
All right. Has he turned us into millionaires yet?
No, but pretty close. Yeah, I'm close.
Yeah, good. Is there a problem over there?
There's a problem.
I might have turned that on last night. My apologies. That's on me. Dude, I was kind of dreading today, to be honest with you, because I know we're going to end up fighting, and I fucking hate that. I hate fighting with a
Gloves
lawyer.
Are off.
Here's the thing. Like,
no, don't overstate. Oh my gosh, you're a lawyer. And
well,
you have a fucking opinion. Defend your opinion, asshole.
No, here's what you do, asshole. Even when you're wrong, you dig your heels in.
Wrong.
Your high heels, your 6-inch pumps
Wrong.
get dug into the fucking dirt because it doesn't matter how guilty OJ is. In my eyes, as his lawyer, he's not guilty. And so I can
What are you talking about,
I can just
even?
Shaun White. Shaun White. And we'll get there. See him last night?
I did.
The Flying Tomato.
Amazing.
Dude, that was awesome.
Great performance. One of the best.
I was so, like, you could say, remember I was telling you the day before, I was like, dude, this guy is so dialed in. And, like, it just, there was a different look on his face.
You called it, Mike.
Yeah, I just knew it. I felt it coming. And last night when it was, like, in the second of the 3 runs he wipes out, and now he's last. I mean, dude,
it's like a movie script.
The buildup is so incredible. And then he gets taken over for the lead with just a couple to go. And it's like,
the drama.
Oh, man, no way. And it was just like,
it's like the scenario you make up in your backyard as you're about to shoot that tray, you know? Like,
yeah.
Oh, here I go, time's ticking down, I got to hit this to win the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you couldn't write it up any better.
Oh, and it's right there, and you can see this guy just dialed in, and he takes off and lays down this run, and you're just like, holy shit. And then to see him whip off that helmet, and he's just crying. You've never seen that from him. It was like, it just showed how important that was, what that meant to him.
Yeah.
It was really cool, man.
And then he desecrated our flag.
Yeah, I know. People were
taking a lot of heat for that.
Tweeting at me about that. Why do they give them those flags? What do they expect them to do? Do we really need them to drape? Can't we just give them like American flag hat or something?
It's a good photo op, you know? The whole the drapery.
It does look cool on a Sports Illustrated cover to have the drape.
Yeah.
It does. But can't we, okay, how about we have a flag handler then? Whose job is to let him do the quick drape photo op and then take the flag.
If it starts to fall toward the ground, the flag handler dives.
Get under it.
Yeah.
Get in there.
Puts his body between the flag and the ground.
Yeah.
Sacrifices his body. He doesn't care.
By the way, how does he, of all people, as a 2-time Olympian, gold medal, now a 3-time gold medal winner, and 4-time participant in the Olympics for Team America, how does someone like that not know, like, just the basics of you don't let a flag touch the ground?
He may have known that, but he just was, caught up in the moment and not thinking about it.
His own greatness overwhelmed him to the point that he
Could
forgot.
very well be.
He forgot about how important
I
it is.
just think this is yet another example of Twitter know-it-all assholes. Aha, gotcha.
Dude, so honestly,
there's no malice there. The dude, the last
Of
thing he's going
course.
to do is disrespect the USA at
If he
that
like
point.
literally, starts stomping on it or
Totally.
something. But
If that were the story today, that like he won the gold and then said, "Fuck you, I'm kneeling down," I'm doing this shit.
Took a
Fuck
knee
the
and
flag.
spit on the flag.
Yeah, like no, the guy.
I saw some chick from Germany in a cross country thing, and she had the thing over her shoulder, and then it's like she just was worn out, dude, and it hit the ground a little while she's taking her skis. So what?
Yeah, I
Well,
know.
it's unfortunate. It's not a
I
good look. You'd rather it not happen, but come on, the
It's
guy
an
didn't
easy
try
attack.
to do it.
It's an easy attack, and you know what's coming. As soon as I saw the thing touch the
Stills.
ground,
Oh, take a still of that. Look
Yeah.
at that guy just walking on our flag.
proud American? Question mark. Yeah, I knew as soon as it hit the ground, it was like, okay, this is just a Nerf toss. This
Yeah.
is a Nerf toss to anybody that.
And you know what's so stupid about it now? And I think like in our media with Twitter and stuff, like say he's in the press conference and well, what about the flag? And say he says, you know what, I'm not talking about that. That's stupid. Oh my God! It's like then he has to, if someone addresses it, he has to like give an answer, or then it seems like he's more of an asshole.
It warranted an answer, and he came out and said, "Look, the last thing I would want to do is disrespect it. I was stoked to win, and blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And he's trying to grab his gloves. He's trying to grab his board and stuff.
Dude.
You're right, dude. They just shouldn't be handed these things. If everybody's so concerned about it falling to the ground, just don't hand them a full flag.
Yeah, in that moment, in that exact moment when they're just bursting and cameras are coming up to him. I mean, his first run, he laid down, a really respectable number that looked like it might hold for the gold, and he ripped his helmet off and chucked it into the crowd. And then immediately was like,
I'm gonna need that.
I'm going to need that back. And here he is over at the crowd like, hey, man, can I get my
Emotion.
helmet back?
It's emotion.
Of course, and you love that. By the way, that was his getting that gold was the 100th gold medal in Olympic history for the Team USA.
That's it?
Yeah, 100 gold
In the
medals.
Winter Olympics? Mm-hmm. I would think there'd be more.
Nope. He did a thing on this in history. When did they start the Winter Olympics? 1920
It was 20 something.
27?
Gosh, I really would have thought we'd had more gold.
No, we
I know.
stinked.
I know.
We
We
stinked.
stink compared to
We don't
summer.
stink. I think we're second overall.
No, we stinked in the early years, like the Norways and the Swedes and the
Sure.
Canadians, the Ruskies, for Christ's sakes. Those guys.
Well, they
whipped our
grew
ass
up
for a
speed skating on anals.
That's
So-
right.
So
Well, that was their main mode of transportation.
Right.
Still is, I believe. So yeah, it was funny in the prelims. There's the other thing that Shaun White is catching a lot of shit because people were pouring out on Twitter last night, just bursting with pride. I was one of them. There was a very emotional moment, and it was exciting. It was everything you want out of an Olympic Games, competitive as shit, right to the very end. And people just can't let that go and just be like, what an American! Oh my God, this is amazing! It's got to be like, but don't forget, he was a dick to a girl a couple of years ago and paid her off. #MeToo. And so someone sees that, and then it's like, oh, cool, we get to be, principled social justice warriors and pile on. And people are lashing out at the media for not covering it. Why aren't we reporting on this? It's like, this is. I think of the Olympics as the one place where politics doesn't matter and like all that. Do you really want them going on? And the families are watching this. It's like, well, in 2014, this girl says that you stuck a finger in her butt. How would you like to respond? And it's like
dry finger too.
right. I don't think he actually did that, but yeah, it just seems like I don't know. Maybe that is the point. Maybe you get a big audience and you need to take advantage of this. But
You'd like the Olympics to be pristine and unmarred by such things.
well, yeah,
A true competition
sure.
where the world comes together.
Well, he was asked in a press conference before this all started, like, do you think those past allegations might tarnish your reputation? He was probably prepared for this. He's like, hey, man, I'm here about the Olympics, not gossip and stuff. And then people are like, okay, that's it, man, time again. And they're like, shuffle them out of there. And people are yelling questions. But today it's like, there were 2 women in that room with their hands up, and they never got to ask a question. They were all white men who got to ask. And I'm like, oh, God, really? Okay. And so after winning, this started getting enough steam last night and this morning that, he's given his interview to NBC, and they're asking him all about, the run, and he's just thrilled and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, you could tell they didn't even want to go there. She even said, like, I hate to even bring this up, but you're aware of the storm brewing underneath. How do you have a response? They're answering to Twitter. Twitter is saying, NBC, at NBC Olympics, at NBC, you haven't asked anything about this. How dare you? And so now they feel compelled to go, what do you think? And he's got to give the, I wish I wouldn't have called it gossip. This is a very serious movement. And he's got to give the political answer and blah, blah, blah.
Well, I'm unable to give an opinion on that until you tell me the details of the allegations, where that all stood.
By the way, going into the Olympics, America was at 96 gold medals in the winter. Obviously, we know they're at 100 now. Compared to the summer, we have 1,200,
Yeah, that's what I'm
1,022.
saying, man. Like, I know summer blew us away in winter, but man, I would think we'd have more than 100.
Yeah, I know. Well, if I would have been participating in the 27 Olympics, I would have brought a couple home. I'm just telling you. Give me 2 weeks.
I think there's a shit ton of events, though. Think about the summer games, dude. Ping pong and handball.
Hell yeah.
It's table tennis.
Sorry, table tennis. You're right.
By the way, they're bringing skateboarding into the next Olympics in China in 2020.
Really?
Yeah. And so they were asking Shaun White about it. And he's like, dude, because I figured you're done. You win that gold. You redeem yourself from coming in fourth at the last Olympics. And he's like, my dream would be to go out there and skateboard. And he said, then I'll have a tough decision to make whether 2 years later I want to come back and defend. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's actually thinking about doing this when he's 35.
Well, this is an actual platform for these guys, though, to advance their the more he wins at the Olympics, the better sponsorship deals he gets, and it really translates to real dollars. Like, there's a lot of these biathletes and shit. There's no pro circuit for that.
Yeah.
So he has incentive to do everything he can, take advantage of the tournament.
For sure. Well, the disturbing allegations that you can find anywhere today all go back to
I remember, dude. I remember this came up 6 or 8 months ago on the show. We talked about this. I'm just not.
Yeah,
it's just not
the
clicking
details.
with me
I
yet.
didn't either until I started reading them. But Bad Things was the band, a tremendous band. Highly recommend seeing them if you can. There was a girl in the band, a drummer, Zawaideh, I believe is her name. And so, yeah, this is all being stirred up now. And it was 2016. Lena Zawaideh sued Shaun White alleging sexual harassment, wrongful termination, and non-payment of wages. So he's obviously got a band on retainer. So he's, it's not like four friends hit the road together and it's, they're on on the same level.
Yeah.
Obviously it's like Shaun White and then these people.
Yeah, Shaun White collects $10,000 per gig, and he pays them 1, 2, whatever it is.
Exactly. And so, yeah, she says he repeatedly sexual harassed her for over 7 years, sent sexually explicit and graphic images to Zawaideh of
his red pee-pee.
His toes?
No, not him.
His nose?
It's not his butthole, is it?
He didn't send pictures of himself, which says something.
Just
He had
penises?
a red hairy butthole.
Probably. Yeah. Yep. Ring of Fire. Sure.
Just
tomato.
penises then? Other guys' penises? Google image?
Of engorged. And when I say engorged, I mean just think of just blood engorged. It means engorged.
About to pop.
This is the quote: engorged and erect penises. Forced her to watch sexually disturbing videos, including videos sexualizing human fecal matter. Scat films, they call those.
Ugh.
And made
For the record, ugh.
Note that
I'm
that's
on record, please.
She's on record going.
I'm on
"Ugh."
record.
I'm on record with that same response.
He made vulgar and sexual remarks to her, such as when the drummer was leaving, going to see her boyfriend. He was like, "Hey, don't forget to suck his balls," which I think is good advice. I mean, honestly, that seems like good advice to me. But
Yeah, her boyfriend probably enjoyed that advice.
at one point, he stuck his hands down his pants, approached Zawaideh, and then stuck his hand in her face, trying to make her smell.
Oh, boy.
Which I was like, dude, I thought I was the only one that did that. Remember when I did that to E? When my balls stank really bad that day?
I do. I have a general memory of that.
E, you remember that, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. It was one of my finer moments, I believe. And so I thought I was the only one that did that, but he was doing that to her. The texts sent by him were arguably racist. Dude, no. Just because there's a black dick in the picture does not mean it's racist. It was one of the pictures is like a white girl sitting there. She's sitting there and lopped gently, and not in a like I'm gonna hurt you way. Is just a gigundous black dong like draped
Over her head.
over her
Ear to
head,
ear.
almost like she was wearing headphones.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just draped over her head.
It happens.
Yeah, and so
Oh my God, that's so big.
if you
Mine would barely cover an ear.
if you got on the Bing machine, you could see these. The
Oh,
pictures
shit.
are everywhere. You can show Jay really quick. Anyways, so
That's okay. I'm good.
Wow.
no,
I
no, you can
imagine.
do it. I want you guys to see it because I don't want to oversell the engorged, erect penis to you guys. The complaint further alleged that White put his buttocks directly in Zawaideh's face, And what? Farted? Like, it just put his butt in her face. That's against the rules, right? Can't do that?
Yeah.
As the financier of bad things, White used his role to impose a strict regime over Zawaideh, going as far as to demand that she cut her hair, wear revealing clothes and underwear, and refrain from wearing red lipstick, which was kind of her thing, her signature thing. So in some of the texts from him, I need you to go out in the morning and have your hair cut in a new style at shoulder or above, but keep your bangs. This is really important to me. She responds like, I'm confident and happy with my look. And then he comes back and says, well, that's disappointing. Are you sure this is the decision you want to make? And then he follows that up with, your decision to not do what I'm asking? These were almost the most disturbing parts of that. Like you do hold a power position over her. Like, are you really sure this is the decision you want to make and disappoint me like this? Like,
disappoint Daddy?
Yeah, it was just kind of this weird, like, I would have more respect if you went, hey, look, man, this is my band. I'm in charge of the stage look, the white stripes. If Meg all of a sudden wants to wear
green,
green,
it's not going to work.
And you've got this whole fucking, candy cane look on stage. You'd be like, no, dude, we talked about this, red or white, your choice. And so if he's like, look, we're all doing the bob haircut, so I'm going to need you guys all do it. We're all wearing white. We're all doing like that would make sense. Put your foot down on something. You signed a contract that I get to call these shots, but to do this like, well, are you sure that's a decision you want to make?
Yeah.
And this exchange happened like the night before their final show on the legendary Bad Things World Tour 2014.
I guess
Well, yeah. That's quite a dong.
We're assuming no Photoshop.
Assuming. And that's quite a bag. Look at that bag.
That might be an elephant.
It's not an elephant. That's not an elephant. No, elephant dongs don't look like that.
Holy hell.
Yeah. So it occurs the night before their final show. At the end of the tour, Zawaideh went home with the assumption she was still a member of the band. And then she doesn't hear from White for a while. She's like, oh, that's weird. And then one of the other band members is like, oh, dude, we've been rocking out like crazy without you. We're killing it out there. And so finally, she's later informed by the band's new manager that Mr. White has decided to part ways with you. She says she never received any of her contractual payments. Also claimed that during the regular band practices, he consistently acted inappropriately. He would constantly refer to her as bitch and show her sexually explicit images and videos. At one point, he yelled out, hey, have you seen this video? I do that to E like on a daily basis. And you guys are probably familiar. You guys know Shake the Bear, right? Shake the Bear video?
I'm not sure. I can imagine.
Well, it's a couple that kills a bear and then bangs on top of it.
Oh, yeah. I remember this.
Yeah. And then another time he called her over like, hey, get over here. You got to watch Church of Fudge. You guys knew Church of Fudge, though. That's one of my favorites. No. I mean, it's... it made her extremely uncomfortable, but for some reason, it involves a priest, a nun, and feces. So I'm not
really astounding.
Yeah, it's the famous Church Fudge. So, anyways, White confessed to. She was also very scared of him too, that he would become abusive and maybe hurt her because band practice they're playing, and apparently he turned around at one point and said, "I'll fucking slap you." And so he'd recently lost in the Olympics, and he was angry, and I feared that he might, and I'm like, dude, you know how many band practices I've sat in where guys are like, you fucking asshole, get it right or I'll punch your nose. Like, that happens the idea that it's like, oh, I was scared that he was going to be, I understand it's a complaint for, the lawyers are going to throw anything they want.
So he settled this for how much? Do we know?
We don't, but... When she said she was, she was having mental anguish and blah blah blah, he demanded that she get a mental health evaluation.
Sure.
I didn't know you could do that. Like, oh, that bitch is crazy. I need her to I want it on record that she's not insane with these claims. But I guess they did end up just settling it. So, and his quote at the time was, "Many years ago, I exchanged texts with a friend who is now using them to craft a bogus lawsuit. There's absolutely no coincidence to the timing of her claims, and we will defend them vigorously in court." It's an undisclosed.
Well, that's the danger of settling a case, right? I mean, you can say, "Oh, we deny
Yeah.
all allegations. We're settling this just to get rid of it."
Make it go away.
But when you do that, the thing's not decided in the courts.
Yeah.
On the facts, on the merits, and
Yeah.
so we never really know.
How do you? I know how you feel about this. About stories like that. There's so many things in that strike me as one-off moments between a group running together. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he stuck his butt in my face. Like, I could see E sleeping on the couch. You walk up in the morning and sit on his face. Like.
Does it lend credibility to her story when they're not outlandish? When the statement about I felt fearful is simply, if you don't play it right, I'm going to slap you. Does that lend some credibility to the situation rather than he used to run at me every day with fists flying and I had to duck behind a wall to stop him? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's those the more real moments where you go, yeah, I could kind of see that happening.
Yeah.
That sort of lend credibility to it. Now, am I saying that warrants, any sort of monetary payout? I don't know. It depends on, whether the sexual stuff happened. But, dude, again, that's the problem with settling cases. It's the good thing about settling cases. You make it go away, but, it's sitting there and people always wonder.
It's the problem, too, of what you've always said of, like, dude, why? Like, go to work. Do your job. Like, the fact of the matter is, and the reason this is troubling to some people is because of the power structure. There's a differential in power structure. She's a young girl not getting paid much money, getting to tour with this famous guy, and all of those things were probably done to other band members. Wake up and slap your dick across his cheek, and then laugh and tag, you're it, and run away. Like, you could do that to E every morning, and he's never going to file a complaint.
Boys will be boys.
Exactly. That's true, though. That's true. And especially guys on the road, young guys fucking around, bored in hotel rooms, they're going to do this. They're going to shit. They're going to lift your mattress and shit on between the mattresses and leave it and hope you sleep on it and go, what is that smell? All night. Guys will do dumb shit like that together. But at no point is E going to go, I felt scared and I didn't know if my health would survive, what with fecal matter wiped on my bed. You can imagine the horror. And so my fear or my thought is,
you know what?
like,
you can't say that across the board that dudes won't do that. I've seen cases where it's male on male harassment.
Really? A lot of them?
Yes. Like,
that doesn't
dude,
sound.
It,
I don't.
It all
read
comes.
those.
You mentioned a moment ago. You know where I'm going to go with this. Yes, I'm going to go back to where I always go. Why are you doing this at work? Why are you doing this with people you work with? Why did you make comments yesterday when we had someone in here that we work with? It's why. It's immature. It's unnecessary. It's boorish and rude.
Because we were on mics. That's
it's
why.
Stupid. It's fucking stupid.
It wasn't.
The point.
No.
What's the better way to handle that? Like a fucking adult, right?
No, not when we're on mics.
Like an adult and not sexualizing
Okay,
things.
we were on mic yesterday after the show, and Marisa was here. And we were doing extra content. We invited her in because she's been a part of
First thing Mike does is hand her a breast implant. What do you think about that?
No, I said, would you care to play with one of Jay's breast implants? And she was like, oh, my God, those are hilarious, whatever. And then at the very end of the discussion, and you can listen to this in our member area if you must.
DetroitCast.com. On the far right side, you'll see members area. You can find a level of membership that works for you.
So Jay says, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming in. And it was just like a reaction, like, to your point. It was just like gross.
No, you're immature. I get it.
I said gross.
I totally get it.
Thank
but
you for
you're
coming
asking
in.
me how
I
can
said
people
gross.
do this? And it's like, well, think about how you, in Shaun White's position, would act toward people.
Well, it was a quip. It was a quip, and you tisked. And I didn't appreciate the tisk. And I saw your fucking eye roll, too. You eye rolled with a strong tisk. You're a quip tisker for no reason. We were on mic, and that comment was not that outlandish. It's not like I said, pull your tits out.
It's classically how this shit happens, though. Everybody's having fun. It's fun. She's a friend. Yeah, she's a friend today. You don't know. In a year from now, is she still a friend? Is she going to look back at that and go, yeah, I laughed too, but I was really uncomfortable? You know what I mean? I'm not saying she now has a sexual harassment claim against you.
Now you've just laid it out.
There's the building block, right?
Yeah.
And then, so you're asking me how this happens. It happens just like you made it happen yesterday. It builds on itself as time goes on and relationships get loose and and I'm just saying there's an easy way not to get messed up with this.
Yeah,
you just don't act like that around coworkers.
Well, I understand what you're saying. I think that's a bit much to think that gross to thanks for coming.
I'm using an example, Mike.
No,
I just said it doesn't make a sexual harassment
I understand that, but it sounds outrageous. And you were frustrated yesterday when I did that. You were like, dude, what the fuck? And my thought is,
well, every time a woman comes in the studio, you have to do shit like that.
do.
And I'm not going to go through the litany of things I'm thinking of. But yes, it's in your nature. And so don't ask why
I think
Shaun
that is
White
so
would say
unfair,
it is
dude.
totally in your nature to act like that. It is, dude. He can fucking vouch for me. I know he knows what I'm talking about.
Dude, you are making it sound like I'm a fucking creep whenever a woman walks in here, and that's bullshit.
You're
and I
definitely
don't
not.
appreciate
You're
that.
not a creep.
I really
grabbing-
don't appreciate that because
Well,
I don't do that, and you just publicly outed me
I-
as some fucking asshole.
You kind of are at times.
Dude.
You're immature.
I'm
and
immature all the time, but
with your sexual comments.
Do not act like I sexually harass people around here. That's a bold statement, dude.
I'm definitely going to say that you've never grabbed anyone. You've
Well,
never made them
thank
feel
you. I've
uncomfortable
never
in that
raped
way.
anyone either.
Well, I don't know. Of course you haven't. I will say I've been here when you make comments with women around where I'm just shaking my head and wondering why the fuck would he say that? Why do you go
Coworkers
there?
or just women?
Women who I'm not going to start naming. I'll tell you on the break who.
No,
I'm
I
thinking of.
have a feeling I know who you're talking.
Mike, I think
I
guys.
brought it to the show. We could have
Us saying something and our audience going,
right.
yeah, boy.
He called someone hot as shit. Wow.
Yeah, was this chick listening to Barstool Radio? Like, has she ever listened before? Are they losing
Probably
a listener?
not. That's not what matters though. It hits the Twitter, and then everybody can jump in. Like they've been listening, and we're offended. So what we've got? Hashtag Patrick Connor found nothing better to do than to label himself an ass by making a tasteless, ignorant comment about this teenager.
She's good looking.
Hashtag snowboard. What is at Crow Radio KNBR going to do about it? Sexist. Hashtag ignorance. Hashtag rape culture.
Dude, if she was 14, then
Yeah.
you got something. She's 17.
And she's in the Olympics. She's a public,
public
figure in the
figure.
Olympics.
She's in the news today.
Yeah. Well, Jane Foudy found it despicable.
Who's that?
Jane Foudy.
There's some lady on Twitter.
Another lady on
No,
Twitter.
she's a Twitter account. It's a Twitter account. It is a Twitter account on Twitter. Could be a guy, could be a chick,
Right.
who knows?
Could be anything. Could be
Could be a robot.
It could be a bot. Totally. Outrageous remark about 17-year-old Chloe Kim made by Patrick Connor. He needs to apologize and beg forgiveness.
Holy hell,
I
man.
just hope he survives. God, what would these people do if our show was out there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
be
some
good.
of these comments, is it just that they're young, or is maybe the whole thing's changing? And it's like, because they're ragging on him for being an old man creep and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that
It's
might
like,
be part of it, right?
It's like, you disgusting white man.
Yeah, if he was 21, maybe
Dude,
not.
I know
Yeah.
things have changed, but man, back in the day, like remember when the freaking Olsen twins were going to turn 18? There was like countdowns
Dude,
on
yeah.
big time national television
They had
channels.
websites that were like a countdown for 3 years.
Oh, my God, really?
Yes, there's like a 3-year counter.
Yes,
Yep, she's 15 now, but
Gross, by the way. Can we
Yes.
all agree on that?
they
Yes.
turned out to be
Absolutely
gross, but I thought they were going to be hot. I remember thinking that they were going to be.
I remember thinking they were ugly
No.
little girls on that
Yeah.
show. Like, ugh.
Totally
this little
agree.
alien-looking chick.
I mean, what number would you give them? Totally based on their looks.
5.
Wow. Okay, so add their multi-billions. Does that go up to a 7? Can you give them a 7?
Maybe.
Yeah, because I think that's fair. I
They
think
were
that's
they
fair.
were like right there with the whole duck lip thing when everybody was doing
Yeah.
the duck
Ugh.
lips for all the. They weren't
Ugh.
even selfies yet. Just all the photos, just posing.
That story about them is just so disgusting. I mean, here's these little twin babies, and by the time they could talk, they had their own like.
They're cuter then, honestly.
Oh,
what
yeah,
are they?
for sure.
14,
That's my
15?
point, though. This, I
Yeah.
think, is when people thought.
But
I'm
man,
telling you,
when
I
they
remember-
once they hit of age, it's like, they're like anorexic, just gross looking chicks.
I totally agree, but I was just trying to say, like, I remember before, though, I think people thought, like, holy shit, this is going to be awesome once they're 18, and you're
Yeah.
right. They turned out to be terrible.
Don't they hold the record or something for world's youngest self-made billionaires?
Yeah, they were really
Something
big on
that?
like straight to video movies.
Oh, my God.
They
Yes.
were like owning this
Singing
segment of the
songs
market.
and shit. They had
All these
videos
little
where-
kids, all these little girls, these
Yeah.
little teenies were buying their shit, and it was like this market that people just didn't realize was there. Or on it was the same kind of
Right.
thing that these YouTubers, are benefiting from.
Yes,
just
yes.
these young girls who want to watch dumb shit, and they were buying the Olsen twins stuff like crazy.
And then I think they had like their either baby clothing line or kid clothing line when they weren't old enough to even understand what it was. I think they were like worth hundreds of millions of dollars before they would have known like what that even meant. Like the idea that they're it's like, no, there was a marketing team that just went, throw Mary-Kate and Ashley's name on it and send it out there, and it's insane. But I don't know how we got onto them. How do we get onto Mary-Kate and Ashley?
Young chicks who are supposed to be hot.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Chloe Kim.
Yeah.
Hey, during Zot M59 Chrysler Jeep and Zot M59 Dodge Ram President's Day event, you get choices. Lease a new 18 Dodge Journey all-wheel drive or new 18 Dodge Charger all-wheel drive or a new 18 Jeep Compass all-wheel drive. Your choice, just $199 a month. No need to call, email, or fax. Just head to Zot Chrysler Jeep or Zot Dodge Ram and get your fresh new 4x4 for $199 a month, only from dealsinthed.com.
is that something where...
Of course it's Gabara putting that in there to make me go,
No,
fax.
I bet it's he's got
very planned by Gabara.
No, here's what it is. He's got a big, fat PH AT new printer in his office, and it says scan, copy, fax. And he's like, I guess I've got the ability.
No.
Why not throw it in there?
Intentionally trying to needle me.
You think so?
Yes, he needles me in these.
He doesn't strike me as a needler.
He's a needler. He's trying to get me to slow down, and he's trying to get me to go, yeah, why don't you send smoke signals? See?
Yeah, okay.
He's playing me against me. Yeah, why don't you Morse code in something?
And he's
then
won
all of a
because
sudden,
we're talking about
he's
it now.
won.
Yeah.
And
Well-
we've talked about Zot, Ford, and Holly and Deals in the D for now 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, I kind of blame you for this, and you're not going to like this, but Steve Gabara was not always a needler. He's not a needler by nature. And you have poked and prodded
That's
and
what I'm saying.
tweaked. You have tweaked his message. His message was simple, and you have tweaked. And he caught it, and now, and then you've made passive aggressive comments.
He's playing.
You have.
He's playing me against me.
He is.
He is.
And so he knows.
He's
All right,
playing me like a
fuckface.
Fidel.
Fine. You want to play games?
Facts.
Fine.
Deal with that. Facts.
Facts. PHAT. I'll give you a Ferrari for $2 a month.
Call, email, or fax. And I can't just let it go.
No, of course
I
you
can't just
can't.
glide past it.
Dude, it would be, yeah, just call, email, fax,
dastardly.
whatever.
Like the lamb to slaughter.
Gabara, you're dastardly.
Well,
he's sitting there twirling his mustache
He
right
is.
now.
Well, he's smart because he knows the squeaky wheel gets the oil, and you are one squeaky
grease.
wheel. Yeah,
Either one.
or the W. See, you just fucking did it again.
What?
Dude, you
The
locked.
squeaky wheel gets the oil. The squeaky wheel gets the grease,
Gets
man.
the WD-40. You know what? See, you can't let someone's simple whatever go by. You're a smug prick, and this is what you do.
No,
you
here's what
find the
happens.
need. I'm driving down the road, and I go, and then you do this to Gabara, you do it to me, you do it to E, you do it to listeners. You fucking jump to you like slide over it from your passenger seat and stomp on the brakes. Just lock them up.
Here's why I do
And
that.
we need to address this now.
I get-
oil, grease.
If I wouldn't have said that, I'd have gotten 5 or 10 emails from people
No,
going,
you wouldn't.
How do you let Mike get by with these stupid phrases? Squeaky wheel gets the oil. It's the grease, dude. Put on the brakes every now and then and pull him back. He's fucking out of control, man.
What with his molesting every woman that walks in studio?
Yeah.
And bad
He
remarks.
doesn't, for the record, he doesn't molest them. He simply verbally harasses them.
I quip.
Oh, he admits it. He admits it.
Oh, you need to find a way to ignore the three assholes who are going to listen to an hour and 30 minutes of something and go, I don't approve of this statement right here, this 4 seconds right here of the show. Everything else is fine, I will sign off on. But these 4 seconds are unacceptable, disgraceful. Oil? What? It's grease. He's
Everybody.
retarded, and you need to lock him up.
I'm going to make another proclamation
Oh, shit.
here on episode 999. Everybody out there, 100% of listeners know it's squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yeah. 2 in the hand is better than...
It's the squeaky gear gets the oil.
Yeah. 2 in the hand is
It's better
worth
than 1
a
in the
hairy
bush. No, has nothing to do with a
No.
hairy bush.
1 cent. There's a cent one. What's the cent one?
Lemonade and lemons.
Making lemonade
Fool me twice.
is better than eating raw lemons. Fool me. There's a saying in Texas, probably in Tennessee. Fool me once, shame on. Won't get fooled again. Brilliant. But you know what you didn't see? You didn't see his right-hand man run up onto the podium and go, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
It's fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's what he meant. Sorry, he's retarded.
Well, he's the
Sorry.
president. Are you
Sorry.
saying that you're close to being the president?
Well,
That
sorry.
important?
Yeah, I felt the need to come
Wow,
up here and correct that.
self-important.
Felt the need to
Mike's
come up
really
here and correct that.
self-important here. Episode 999. It comes out. Mike thinks he's like as important as the president.
That's what I said. Going to twist everything around. Speaking of the president, did you see his longtime lawyer? That dude's been his lawyer for like 30 years or something.
Cohen or something?
Yeah, Michael Cohen.
Antifa!
Michael D. Cohen.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. D. Period Cohen. He's admitted finally that, yeah, I was the one that paid Stormy 130 grand. I don't know if I believe this out of my own pocket, because people were saying stuff like, there was like one watchdog group was like, oh yeah, this is corruption. It's, tampering with, campaigns,
Fundraising issues.
Yeah.
I believe it. I believe he paid it out of his own pocket to avoid just that.
Yeah. You think he would have done that and not like on the side, hey, Don, you owe me 130 grand.
Oh, he got it back.
Somehow.
I'm not saying, yeah.
I'm going to charge you an exorbitant amount of
I'm gonna
money
go
for
ahead
the
and
next case.
Bill Matter, the Stormy Matter. Go ahead and bill you $900 an hour until that's back in my pocket.
Here's the receipt for the Stormy one. As you can see, you owe zero. Quite a lot owed on this other thing, though. So, yeah, he told the Times he paid Stormy while working as counsel for Trump. He says he was not reimbursed for the payment. Neither the Trump organization nor the Trump campaign was party to the transaction, and neither reimbursed me for the payment, either directly or indirectly.
Bullshit.
It was a lawful payment, not a campaign contribution or a campaign expenditure by anyone. He called it a private transaction. Lawyers. He said he gave a similar statement to the FEC, the Federal Election Commission, after a complaint was filed by the watchdog group Common Cause. I was just trying to raise a stink. God, Buddy.
I was just thinking about this, like with this stuff going on. You know what's gonna be weird to me? I've been talking today.
Hey, it's Big E joining us.
There he is.
It's gonna be weird.
He's closing in
because
on his probably 453rd episode now.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is gonna be a regular person again at some point, and it's like he's not a politician. So it's just gonna be funny that whether we have 4 or 8 years of this Donald Trump being the president, he will go back to like, runner just Donald Trump Incorporated or whatever, and he'll just be a regular guy, but he'll be a past president.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's
It's
weird.
kind of
Everything
funny-
about it's weird. I was telling you yesterday how I got so fed up watching old white guy on, sitting in the chamber, and, this and that, and fucking the house of this, and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, oh, I can't do it today. I can't do it. And so yesterday I took a nap, and I had one of them on. I think it was CNN, actually, in the wood room. And and I'm watching this panel, and they are spending, I think it was Brooke Baldwin was on, and they are spending 20 minutes going on and on and on, trying to pick apart things in the way people said, like the way Trump didn't mention the victims, or the way Kellyanne Conway said that Hope Hicks is strong, meaning that the other women were weak. And
the president of the United States is racist.
And then it's like they spend 20 minutes delivering this horse shit, like taking things, just twisting them to fit their bend, right? We hate him, so no matter what he says, we're going to find a way to twist it and make it shitty. And so they do that, and then they bring on, well, we're lucky to have Representative so-and-so from the state of California, blah, blah, blah. And they get a series of these people on, and I swear to God, my eyes are shut. And it would be like, so what do you think about these, the fact, and they feed them leading questions, just Nerf toss leading questions that you're supposed to just smash out of the park. Let's see who can go higher to talk about how offended I am by this behavior.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I can immediately tell, like, 4 words in, I'll name that tune in 4 words, and it's like, oh, he's got a D next to his name. Yeah, he's got an R next to his name. And what I don't understand is how people there don't put all the pieces together and understand truly what it means when a nation's people are fed up with people like this, that leads to a Donald Trump being in office. You know what I mean? And we've talked about it before, but I was just thinking, like, I would respect someone so much more if just once some guy that's supposed to take that Nerf toss and smash it out of the park and go, in the history of this country, we have never seen such a boring me. Him not mentioning the victims is outrageous. He needs to step down immediately. It's like, okay, fuckface. If just once a guy went, now, you know what, Brooke? I know what you're doing. You've twisted those words a little bit, and they're trying to make this into a big thing because it's good for your ratings. But honestly, if you've got any serious questions about blah, blah, blah,
it's the echo chamber, dude. I mean,
know,
it's the TV program that they're programming. It's
why?
Their theme.
No. I'm
Resist.
not talking about the TV people. Fuck them.
But they're being asked on because they give a certain line, and they're not going to be asked back if they do that.
Well, I think you could. Don't you just think though that you could make?
Dude, just turn that shit off. That's
Yeah.
the answer.
Well, I think
the answer is it's an echo chamber on the left, it's an echo chamber on the
Yeah.
right, and you're never like. Yeah, it'd be nice if there was something in the middle that we could actually listen to and go, wow, that's reasonable. You see both sides of issues. That's interesting.
I know, and maybe that's impossible. Maybe it's just a dream of mine. I have a dream too. I just think the public would have so much more credibility for you.
They don't care about the public because the public is racist. It just proves that America's racist because that's why he got elected. So it doesn't matter. They don't care. They just think that how he got elected was because there's so much more racism in America than we even realize.
Your vote was a
and
hate crime.
That's what's it.
Of course, it was a hate crime. Did you see Piers Morgan's article yesterday?
Yeah, I've heard him speaking out about Omarosa.
Dude, how funny! I mean, his talk, and I'll read you some of it, but goddamn, the fact that bitch got into the White House is still, to me, so fucking mind-blowing. Like,
moronic.
I don't know how much you paid attention. You probably didn't, but back, in 2004 or whatever it was when that show was really big.
Yeah, I remember when she
do you remember
flashed on
her?
the scene. She sucks.
Dude, and I've said it before, she was honestly the most I honestly hated her soul.
Yeah.
I hated her so much. Seeing such a vindictive, vile, lying, conniving, shitty person. And the idea that somehow would get it, like, it's so, I lost so much credibility for anything that was going. Like, I can't believe this witch is stumbling about the White House. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And so Piers' article says, "Shut the fuck up, asshole," snarled Omarosa. "And how are your kids going to feel when they wake up and discover their dad's a fucking faggot?" Yeah, the same Omarosa who just spent a year inside Trump's White House. Yes, this is the same Omarosa. "I've met a lot of vile human beings in my life, from dictators and terrorists to sex abusers and wicked con men, but I've never met anyone quite so relentlessly loathsome as Omarosa. Vicious, duplicitous, lying, conniving, backstabbing piece of work." Which begs the question, what the hell was she doing inside the world's most powerful building for 12 months? The answer, amassing a whole mass of damaging information to now use against President Trump. Duh. That's what Omarosa does. I met her a decade ago. We were cast on The Apprentice. She'd become America's most hated reality TV villain after her performance in the 2004 season of The Regular Apprentice. Nothing quite prepared me for her opening gambit as we waited for the details of the first challenge. She sidled up to me at a New York mercantile exchange and said, "Seriously, Piers, do you want a showmance?"
Mercantile. I just want to avoid the emails.
Right.
I just want to avoid the emails. Read on.
Do you need your oil can back?
I'd like my grease.
Namaste.
Serenity now.
Serenity now. As I was saying,
Mercantile.
mercantile exchange. "Piers, do you want a showmance?" "A what?" "A showmance. A romance on the show. We get it on together. Happens all the time on The Apprentice. Everyone has sex together. Then we can make lots of money out of it."
Gross.
I stared at her and laughed. "You must be joking, you deluded woman."
You deluded woman.
She did not take that well. "What are you, gay?" From that moment on, she turned on me like a viper because I'd rejected her revolting sex plot. She decided the best line of attack was to repeatedly question my sexuality. At the time, I was separated from my ex-wife and mother of 3 of my 4 children. A fact Omarosa seized on with glee. "The mother of your children hates you, Piers, and your children fucking hate you. They're embarrassed by you. Is there another man raising your children, Piers?" Ugh. Let's see here. On another occasion, in front of Lennox Lewis, she said, "Hey, Piers, I hear you got caught sucking a gay waiter's cock in a hotel pool." He has to say, "This was a lie. This was not true." She hadn't heard that about me. She just made it up to smear me and provoke me into a confrontation. Eventually, she took her bigotry into the boardroom and telling Donald Trump, "I think Piers is in the closet." And Trump was like, "Really? I don't think you know him very well." And so he goads him and he says, "Piers, you want to come in and address this?" And so he comes in and he kisses Trace Adkins, the 6'7" country star, on the cheek.
Yeah.
And the boardroom loses it, blah, blah, blah. One of those moments. She did the, he says everyone laughed. Beneath the laughs, though, lay a less savory truth. Omarosa is a reprehensible human being, prepared to offer sex to win a TV show. She did all this purely so it would bring her more airtime and more attention. I thought of all of this over the past few days as the scandal over Rob Porter hit the headlines. It's obviously unacceptable that Porter is able to hold down such a high-level job with such serious allegations from two exes. Completely unacceptable that Trump praises Porter after he resigned. And big questions remain of who knew what when. I was aghast when she joined Trump's campaign team in July 2016 as the director of African American outreach. I haven't met an African American in the entire country who would ever like to be outreached to by Omarosa. My disquiet turned to utter horror when he won the presidency and she was appointed the White House's director of communications for the public liaison office. Her tenure went exactly as I expected. She achieved nothing but incessant chaos, upsetting all her coworkers, picking fights, accused of physically intimidating and verbally threatening longtime White House correspondent April Ryan. After Don Lemon cut her mic during a segment, she told TMZ he should stop being such a queen. By common consent, she achieved absolutely nothing to benefit the presidency. In fact, quite the reverse. Yet there she was. And now she's on Celebrity Big Brother. Omarosa's been singing like a bitchy canary about Trump, Mike Pence, and others, and this is just the start of it. Brace yourselves for the Insider book, the docuseries, the Lifetime movie, and then he's like, yeah, you know, what's more surprising is Donald likes winners, and she's anything but. She's been a loser at everything she's done. She was fired when I whooped her fucking ass on that show. And
yeah, so in shows like you just criticized, like CNN, in their defense, you know, this dude's judgment isn't exactly beyond reproach. I mean, how fucking dumb is that to put Omarosa in your White House?
I just don't understand what. Did you hear what she said on Big Brother last week? Where she was talking about Mike Pence, like, oh, if you think Trump's bad, you do not want Mike Pence. That guy, she's like, I'm a Christian and I love Jesus, but that guy thinks Jesus tells him what to say. And I'm like, man, Jesus ain't tell you to say that.
Yeah.
It's like the guy's a fucking insane religious person. And so
Didn't she say that to Joy Behar?
that's that same thing, maybe, I don't know.
I thought she was on The View saying that, and Joy was like, yeah, Christians suck.
Well, that's an easy one. That's the only religion you can attack.
Yeah.
That's
You're a moron if you're a Christian.
Yeah. Fucking weirdo. I don't know what he was thinking, but whatever. Anyway. I thought Pierce's article was pretty funny. I saw him interviewed too, and he was just as vicious. It was kind of hilarious. Why don't we take a quick break, Jay? And mercantile, right?
Yeah.
Mercantile. And God, that police
Grease.
officer in Detroit, yeah. Marin County. The Detroit police officer that was killed. Fuck, man, what a terrible story.
Yeah.
Awful story. We'll get into that and more next.
Cast continues after this short break. The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
God damn, is that coming in hot? Holy shit, that was blowing my ears off, and I had it way down. Anyway, welcome back to the Detroit Cast, powered by dealsonthed.com. Mike and Jay.
Insurance, we all need it. Most of us don't know what kind of coverage we have or who provides it. Let fellow TDC listener Brent Wasik from Wasik Insurance Services change all that. Brent has over 29 years in the business, offers all types of insurance coverage, auto, home, health, life, business, commercial, and more. Call him today, 734-455-1900. Get a free no-obligation quote today. Again, that's 734-455-1900.
We'll get to E's History Day in just a moment. I did want to mention what a tragic loss. When I saw Darren Weathers' name trending number one, at least on my Twitter, I don't know if that was just local or national, but he was a really well-liked Detroit police officer, young guy, 25, served in Afghanistan, and has a young child, and was killed in, it sounds like a training exercise in Detroit.
Yeah.
And another vehicle struck his car about 11:30 a.m. He died at Henry Ford Hospital. Police Chief James Craig said it's too soon to know what the cause factors were in this. He said he called Weathers, who was nicknamed Lucky, of all things, a phenomenal officer. It's certainly a dark day. Our officers stay committed. It's a very difficult time for the police department. Yeah, they've had some terrible losses of late. I have the unfortunate duty to look in their eyes and keep them encouraged. He praised the staff at Henry Ford. He's like, they did everything they could to save him. It sounds like his car got pushed into one of those poles or something, or the rails, and it just, gave him no chance. It kind of squashed him there. But he's got a 3-year-old daughter. And the reason this was extra sad was because I remember the news story last year that went viral regarding him. And, the police officers in this country, and certainly in some of our most crime-riddled cities, there's so much pressure on them to handle and fix all the woes of society.
They've been shat upon.
They've been shit upon in ways we've never seen before, and they're just expected, like, well, yeah, your kid's got shit parents and whatever, so it's the cops' fault to fix that somehow. Like they get
all this shit comes out of a funnel and then they're at the bottom to catch it,
right?
And then they get shit on if it's not handled exactly right. And I get it. There's bad apples, right, Mike? There's bad apple can spoil the whole bunch,
right?
A murderous cop, a bad thing,
right?
We've seen some cases where it's like, what are you doing shooting a guy right there? But,
yeah.
Oh my God, the vast majority of them are good people who just want to go home after they work.
Yeah, and so when you see guys that are out there, so many people talk about community policing and how important that is to, that's the way it used to be done. People that lived in the neighborhoods, they policed the neighborhoods they lived in. And so you knew little Tommy was he meant well, but he was a pain in the ass. And you didn't shoot Tommy because you knew Tommy and you knew his parents, and it reminded me of a story I was talking to my mom about a while ago, but about that guy that he committed a horrible crime. I want to say it was murder. Young black guy, and was on the run, and they were searching for him. And there was a cop in his neighborhood that was one of those that reached out to the kids and tried to do his best to help these inner city kids. And his cell phone goes off, and it's this guy that they're looking for, that's on the run. And he's like, "Where are you, man?" Blah blah blah. And he's like, "I know I have to turn myself in. I wanted to call you and see if you could be the one to arrest me." Because you will at least give me the respect as a human being. And it was
You're not going to grind my face into the pavement.
Yeah. Meet me at this park at this time. And the cop went there and arrested him. And he's like, I just knew you'd give me the human dignity and respect and not just see me as an animal. And it's stories like that, what a difference a cop in a community can make. And so the video that went viral with Darren last year showed him playing with a bunch of kids on the street, and he's doing push-ups with them, and he's jogging down the street with them and playing with them, and you can just tell that
that's not staged, right?
Yeah. Here's a guy that cares. He cares about the community. He cares about the kids, and obviously cares about service to his country and to his community, and doesn't, is one of the good ones that's trying to change the narrative of every
Does he
time.
let him win the race? Does he let him win? That will show me the true character.
You wouldn't let him win, would
I think he does. I think he lets him win. Look at this. He could take off right here.
He shouldn't be holding his gun.
Stride is like 5 times the length of that.
Why is he aiming his gun at him?
It's hard to tell from this video.
Yeah, you can't tell. I think the kid
caught
beats
him.
Yeah,
I think
the kid beat him. But that might have been, he might have beat him outright.
You think?
Yeah, the kid was cooking. He was hauling down the street. I love seeing those when a cop, gets all of a sudden is breakdancing in the street with a bunch of kids.
Or shooting hoops.
And that is such a huge difference. Like when I was on the mean streets of Redford, when I was on the beat.
I remember that, yeah.
My partner, dude, it was incredible how, Crack would go, see those kids in the corner? And I go, yeah, they're just, four kids, 3 black kids and a white kid, all males, just sitting on a corner, probably 12 to 18. And he's like, watch when we drive by. They'll either spit at the car or flip us off. And every one of them, scowl on the face, fuck you, and flipping you off.
All white cops are fucking devils and white people.
And it was just like, he was calling these shots. He's like, dude, there's so much distrust. And so to lose a guy like Darren here, it's like,
especially in a training
man.
Thing. Like, it's so needless.
Yeah, it is. So Mark Diaz, president of the Police Officers Association of Detroit, said he was one of the sharpest, most caring and wonderful human beings I've ever met. Officers continue to mourn his loss. We're going to push forward. We're going to keep putting our lives on the line. Continue to do that, and we'll do it in the names of our fallen comrades. Just a brutal story yesterday, man. Just awful.
Hamlin Pubs, they're inviting you to their 5 Metro Detroit locations. Come enjoy Hamlin Pubs' great food, drinks, and atmosphere. Whether you're watching the game with your buddies, out for a meal with the family, or out for an evening with your girl, it's always a great time at their Rochester, Clarkston, Chesterfield, and 2 Shelby Township locations.
Easus.
Well, is it time, Easus?
I want to get my learn on.
This day in history with Big E.
Okay, so on this day, 1967, Valentine's Day. I don't know how to pronounce that, I think I mispronounced it. Whatever. Valentine's Day?
Valentine's Day.
Hold on, man.
Valentine's?
T.O.
Stop. How do you pronounce it?
Stop. Before we go on.
Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
Valentine?
Valentine's
Day? Okay. Sure.
How the fuck did I get here?
I don't know. That's on you, man. You could have left years ago.
Yeah, personal responsibility, Jay.
Yeah, personal responsibility.
Valentine's Day. How do you pronounce? Are you fucking kidding me,
I
man?
don't know.
It's probably
It's never meant anything to me.
It's probably spelled correctly in your notes. I mean,
right, it is.
Have you walked down an aisle and seen all the red in any store?
No, I never look at it.
It's like it's the headline of everything.
Back to Professor E.
On this day, Valentine's Day, 1967.
Better get some oil for that greasy wheel over there, huh, Jay?
Aretha Franklin records
the gear, right? Got to oil that gear, right, Mike?
Yep, got to make it not squeak no more.
Aretha Franklin recorded the single "Respect" today on this day in New York.
I've never gotten that.
1967. What's up? Oh, jeez.
Not in this room.
So I didn't really know much about this song. I've heard the song before, but I did not.
How does it go? I'm trying to remember.
I'm not gonna sing it.
Just like the hook.
I'm not gonna sing it.
I'm trying to remember. I want some respect. Yeah. I want some respect.
That's exactly how it goes.
How does it go? I know that's wrong.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T. No. I don't know the rest.
There was nanas in there.
I don't know.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
I can. If you really want, I guess I can play it. But I mean, anyway. So the point is, I didn't know much. Obviously, I didn't know much about this song. I'd heard it before, and so she's not the original. She's not the original. This is actually a cover by Otis Redding. Wrote the song and sung it originally.
It's a cover by her of Otis Redding.
Oh yes, her covering Otis Redding.
Well put.
1965 is when he first made it, and the songs were very different. As him being a male, his song was more about wanting respect from his woman. He was talking about how like he's working all day and he comes home and he wants some respect.
Bitch, better show me some respect.
And he even got to go into the lyrics. In his lyrics, he even went as far as to say like, "Look, I don't even care when I'm gone how you treat me, but when I'm here, kind of treat me with some respect."
Some R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
And it came from...
Wait, did you say Otis did it in 65 and
yeah.
she covered it in 67?
Yes. Well, yeah. Yep, 67 is when it was released.
It does seem too soon.
Just a little bit too soon.
That's the situation. So it came from it came from him being on the road. His inspiration for it came from him being on the road for a long time, and he felt like his woman wasn't. He was here. He's like his bandmates were like, "Man, you're on the road. You're on the road. 400 days last year or whatever." And
wait, stop.
364 days, whatever.
Okay. Go on.
I don't know.
All right. We've established that he feels disrespected when he's on the road, or
400 days a year.
Yeah, 400 days a year.
So that's where the inspiration for the song came. She was really a struggling artist. She'd had she'd had 11 albums before the album that has Respect on it, but was not
11 albums.
Yes, she's had 41 studio albums in her career.
Wow.
Who kept funding for those things to go without a hit?
She was actually $80,000 in debt before she signed on to Atlantic, and then this was her first.
That had to be a fortune back then, right?
Yeah.
Sorry,
but usually if you don't have a hit single, you're shelved.
Moving on to the next one.
Yeah, she'd had like very little success before this. Just a few records that kind of went like one, and the main charts. I think the top record she had topped out at 69. It's what it is, man. And on the R&B charts, a few went to 8, but it was nothing. Like, it was not very good. Like I said, she was in debt, and Atlantic Records signs her, and she was gonna make an album, and then she covers this Respect song and does it with her own style. And then they decide it was so good. They think it's so good that they're like, dude, we need this out sooner. So they make a record and put it on there. Was it a much soulful rendition by Aretha? Well, for one, as Mike tried to get me to sound like an idiot by doing the RESPECT was not spelled out in the original version. That was something that her sister came up with, who sang the vocals on the song. Do we have the original version? How can the original not have that? That's so iconic. Like, that's the song, man. Well, that's why.
I want to hear that. That's the whole song.
I know.
Everybody knows RESPECT. Tell me why.
I don't know exactly know where it is in here, but this is the song. Here. Did I pass it already?
Yeah, you're into the hook now.
So weren't we asking for Otis Redding's rendition?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't.
Is that supposed to be the rendition where she doesn't spell RESPECT?
This is the original version of her singing, of her.
Why don't you start in the beginning instead of the middle, and let's just get a few bars in and see if she does.
I think the report was that she does it, whereas Otis did not.
Oh, really?
So I think we're going to find that RESPECT is here.
Yeah, that's my point. That was my point. What I said.
What you want?
Her sister came up with the idea of spelling it out. Her sister is singing it and is doing the background vocals in this. And the "Sock It To Me" too in there was like just kind of a slang thing that they had been saying amongst their friends. It is voted. It won 2 Grammys in 1968: Best Rhythm and Blues, Best Rhythm and Blues Solo Vocal Performance Female. It was in Rolling Stones magazine and the top 500 greatest songs of all time.
Rolling Stone magazine.
Fifth overall song of all time.
Make it sound like Mick and Keith started a magazine. I'm sorry.
Okay,
it's not the Rolling Stones magazine.
I'm not worried about it. So anyway,
you knew that, right? That Mick and Keith did not start that magazine.
Yes, I did.
Okay. You know who Mick and Keith are?
Yes.
Okay.
Fifth best song of all time. 500.
Fair line of questioning.
I don't care. Number 1, Bob Dylan, Like a Rolling Stone. 2, Rolling Stones, Can't Get No Satisfaction. 3, John Lennon, Imagine. 4, Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. And then 5th was her, Respect.
This is a badass song, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the Library of Congress, honored her by adding it to the National Recording Registry. It was included in the list of the songs of the century, by the Recording Institute of America. So it's definitely, like, people consider this maybe one of the best R&B songs of all time. But it is her version, as you guys know, I'm sure, is more about a woman getting respect from a husband, obviously different than Otis Redding's version. And it became a big catalyst for just the women's movement in general. People saw this as an anthem for women's rights. She did not see it like that. She just thought it was a song.
Otis wouldn't have had much of a leg to stand on as far as like begging for respect from his woman, where Aretha, I would think
sweet,
in 1967.
The way it's postured, woman talking to a man.
Well, that was kind of
that makes more sense. Otis must have been really sensitive, or been with a real bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, what guy wasn't getting respect from
he's
their
on the
lady?
road 400 days a year.
That's true.
Some people, I think it did say. I think that some people just called it was more traditional, just like just more of a traditional, the song about a husband wanting his woman to show him respect. I thought this was kind of where was it? This was kind of funny. So we talked about, where was it? Because her big thing was about respect. So Franklin, she had her in her thing. It's all about giving the money, and she talks about giving her propers, which is showing
Her props.
and that became props. Yes, I thought that was interesting.
She coined props?
Wow.
She kind of. She
was a catalyst to it.
Catalyst at becoming like known
Well put,
out
Mike.
there.
So what was it originally? Give me my
Give her propers. Give her her propers, and that
my
became
proper respect.
what became respect. The "Sock It To Me" line became a thing on comedy. Laugh. What is it? Laugh Studios, some show.
What?
Laughing?
Laughing, yeah. That became like a catchphrase on that
Studio,
show, but
whatever.
it didn't come from her necessarily. But she is the one who put it out there in the mainstream.
Yeah.
She'd had friends saying it around her.
Is it fair to say, E, without this song, that she doesn't end up doing her fine rendition of the national anthem for the 2016 Thanksgiving Day Lions game?
It is
Because
definitely
that was epic.
She's not done with that yet.
That was epic.
Yeah.
It is definitely fair to say that.
That was horrible.
Worst ever. Worst national anthem ever.
Although,
Yeah.
dude, I
It
gotta
was just
say,
so self-serving.
I gotta say, I know this isn't about the song exactly, but I think we always look like I was looking at this, even this image of her, like my whole image of her. Oh, I guess it's
Is
on
fat.
the is just
Fat-
fat,
fat giant urethra.
Yeah, the urethra or whatever and shit.
Urethra.
And it's
Yeah,
like,
you forget she was once fairly
And human.
slim. Yeah, human looking. Right.
She has won 18 Grammys and sold 75 million albums.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. And
Pay
she's
your
still-
bills then.
Seriously.
Well, I know.
It's
I know.
always the knock on her. It's
During.
like,
Yep. Go ahead.
yeah. No, I mean that there are countless contractors out there that are
Yeah.
just like this bitch that came over and did 10 grand of work.
Wasn't
and
that a
is
big
still
deal like
unpaid.
20 years ago? Just the pictures of her pool area and shit.
Yeah.
She just let her house rot and stuff.
Yeah, I think she's got a few houses around here.
Yeah.
I flew over that one. Clark and I flew over that one and it was like, dude, that pool, that Hart pool or
Yeah.
whatever in the backyard was like caved in, like the walls. It looked like he's like, dude, it's such
Oh,
a
dude, I did
shithole.
read. I did read articles like more. I mean, I didn't more about her and her problems and her, anger and her husbands and her dad was. There was a whole thing about her dad. Even though her dad was a preacher, he was cheating on her mom, and
Hell yeah.
they got divorced. And
First lady?
so I mean, and yes, her divaness comes up, and
Oh,
and-
yeah.
and there's a book.
She's one of the original divas, isn't she? Isn't Aretha always
I
been-
think so.
People,
yeah.
yes,
I think
I
she's
do.
known
People,
as
sorry, go ahead.
like there was a thing that she was singing on with. It was like the Divas or something. It was her, Christina Aguilera.
Whitney, sort of that. Group
Yeah,
back then.
like four just power and
Celine Dion.
it was hard to listen to because each one was going to outdo the
Yeah.
other and la 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 la. la. It's just like this is so
Flailing
obnoxious.
about at the end of each note. Yeah.
Yes, it was like can any like they're just pushing each other out of the way to la, 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 la. Stop it.
It is
Diva
funny. It is
bitches.
funny though, and all that's aside. Like again, that's kind of what I know about her. But obviously, at one time, I mean, this was insane how big this song was, and how it's made her completely
Broke her.
made her. But it's like you look at critics, and it just shows you sometimes with these critics. In 1967, Rolling Stone didn't really like it. They said there was a lack of versatility.
You got it. You got it, E. Just see it through. You've got
How
this
did
shit.
I get here?
Lack of versatility on the part of the sidemen. The drums weren't hard enough. The guitar was weak, and the production lacked polish. But then in 2002, they placed it as #1 on their Women in Rock Essential album.
Didn't sound like a knock on her, dude. You can't knock her in that song.
I know, but
Yeah.
well, that's about the album, I suppose. But still,
Well, you watched that Rolling Stone documentary, didn't you?
I did.
And they did that to a lot of people. Remember, Led Zeppelin wouldn't even talk to them
Yeah,
for
so
years.
they panned Led Zeppelin. I mean,
I want to say they gave like Zeppelin 4 a 1 star.
I think you're right.
Something like that. It's like
they're like, fuck off.
Black Dog,
you,
rock
you
and
cunt.
roll. Yeah, it was like no. And I think Cameron Crowe was finally able to get an interview with them.
Yeah, he cracked the facade a little bit of Led Zeppelin, but they were really mad because he kind of let Zeppelin just take them wherever they wanted to go with the interview, and he took it back to Jan, whoever, and he's just like, dude,
Jan
you got a
was-
lot to learn, my friend.
Yeah.
Because they just took you for a ride in that interview. You learned nothing they didn't want you to know.
Exactly. You didn't interview them.
So, Isis, what about the Blues Brothers appearance? She was epic in the Blues Brothers.
I mean,
How do we feel about the Blues Brothers, by the way?
It's overrated overall.
Extremely.
Yeah.
Like, maybe we're just too young because it was a little bit before our time.
Before our time, it's a funny concept, man. Just those two going when those two just bust out and start dancing, just grooving like crazy. It makes me laugh every time.
Yeah.
But overall, it's an overrated movie.
What is the
For
plot line
sure.
of that? They're going to Chicago to.
Yeah, shit. What is it? They get out of jail and there's Nazis chasing them. The Illinois Nazis. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's what are they trying to do? I
I
forget.
honestly don't remember.
They're trying to
I don't
save an
even know-
orphanage. Something like fuck.
I don't know if I've ever even seen the original Blues Brothers movies, but ever since then, they've made appearances all over and Blues Brother references, and every time I'm like, yeah,
I think
the
Jake,
suits, the glasses, the dance,
I think
and
Jake,
I don't.
the Belushi character, came from an orphanage, and both of them did. They're brothers, quote unquote.
Yeah, Blues Brothers.
Right.
Yeah.
But they have to save this orphanage somehow, I believe.
Okay.
But the cops are chasing them, and the Nazis are chasing them, and it's
yeah.
slapstick by
Yeah.
the end. Car crash.
Worth seeing.
Yeah, I guess it's yeah.
I mean, this is your word.
I'd
You
say
put
it's
your
worth
name.
seeing. Yeah.
Okay. I know you're doing the classics now, and so maybe I'll go back and do some of the classics.
Yeah.
Movies.
Oh, there's
I
some
think it's one
classic
of them.
scenes. Just their calmness in the car as they're just flying through the mall and shit.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
the
yeah.
chase scenes are absurd.
Well, I think we used to have Blues Brothers was in our intro, our show intro. You know, the whole it's 106 miles to
Yeah.
Chicago, got a full tank of gas and half a pack of smokes.
Right.
Yeah.
Some classic lines that'll jump out at you. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. That
Yeah, yeah.
drop. Yeah.
Try to do that. Try to
Well,
watch
Isis, good work. I didn't have any visual aids, or I had the one picture of
I know,
Aretha.
I
You
know,
know
that's-
I'm a visual learner, so I didn't learn that much, but I think overall a good job.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Fair
just
enough.
it is one of those things where, like I said, I've heard the song before, but I don't know. I never knew anything about it, or I certainly I didn't know that someone had
Isis,
sung it before.
here's an assignment for you. Listen to that full song, start to finish, after the show. It's a great song.
I will.
I've finally started doing that when we had the interview we did, the Book of Detroit.
Yeah.
And a lot of it focused on that music. And so if you remember, I spliced together like an intro with a bunch of the hits. And so I listened to those for a few hours down here and was like, I've never really, like, I know all the lyrics, you know, ABC,
Yeah.
you know, like we all know those hooks, but listening to the production on those and just the music is like, God damn, this is good. This stuff is really
I mean,
good.
you mentioned Otis Redding a moment ago. A Dock of the Bay. Come on, never heard of it?
Yeah.
Isis?
Yeah, I think I have. Yeah.
Sing it for me.
I
forget
know,
it.
I
Someone that
honestly-
goes, Dock of the Bay.
Dock of the Bay.
Dock
maybe
of
I
the
have
Bay.
that. Maybe I have
Dock
that.
of the Bay, just hanging out me at the dock of the Bay.
You know it, E, right?
I got honestly now. I don't think I have now. I'm sorry. to
Which
say
one were
that.
you thinking?
I don't
Kind
know.
of an up-tempo.
Here.
Dock of the Bay.
Yeah, dock of the Bay. Sitting
By
just
the
dock of the Bay.
You wanna hear this or
Wasting my
no?
time and wasting my day. Hanging out here at the dock of the Bay. Come on, E. Who doesn't know Dock of the Bay?
I guess I didn't. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I apologize.
What did you think it was? Seriously, I want to know what you thought it was.
I'm trying to think. I think I was thinking of Boardwalk, the song, like that song Under the Boardwalk or something.
Under the boardwalk.
Not that one, Jay. Under the boardwalk, yeah. Boardwalk, yeah. I think that's the one that's most known.
Dude, along these lines, we're obviously being sarcastic with E. For anyone who doesn't realize that, I received an email the other day that, guys, I got to tell you, 1,000 pennies, it's not $100.
It is.
It's 10.
It's $100.
It's $10.
No, E told us. It's $100.
Dude, we knew. We were just playing with E.
Yeah, we could also sitting by the dock
I didn't
of
think
the
it was
bay.
right. I didn't think I was right. That's why I didn't celebrate too much. I didn't. I kind of just said, "Oh, okay."
Hey, if you don't own a truck, winter sucks. That's the truth, man.
By the way, who's the real retard there? Is it the guy that had to email that in?
No, I mean,
Or
I
is it
guess
E, like,
sarcasm can be veiled at times.
aren't
and
we
if,
good, though, at making it clear?
I would
that,
think you'd know us by now, that you'd know we can
Yeah.
do quick. I mean, I know we suck at math, but we're not that bad, right?
Yeah.
Well, I would
And
say
if we're
for
going,
this,
E, you got it, man. Dude,
got
you
it.
nailed it.
well, I would say for this listener,
Yeah.
400 days that year. Yeah, totally, E. He was on the road 400 days that year. Like,
I would say for the listener, I'm very bad apparently at picking up sarcasm at times, and I'm not kidding. I didn't think that you guys. I just let it go. I thought I was wrong, but I said okay.
no,
Whatever.
the funny thing about the email was he's like, I'm probably like the 100th person who emailed in.
Yeah. That would be even scarier. E, if you're going 60 miles an hour.
I don't know, dude. I don't care.
Like-
I don't know, and I don't.
In an
care.
hour, how many miles could you go if you're traveling?
5.
5?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I thought he was going to fuck that up. But
If you don't own a truck, winter sucks. Who can help? Our friends at Zotford and Holly beat the winter blues by leasing a brand new loaded 18 Ford F-150 Super Cab 4x4. I love mine. I got to tell you, I love mine. As low as $131 a month. This isn't a base model bullshit truck. This is a Ford F-150 four-wheel drive. with all the toys, and it's only $131 a month. See details and their massive inventory at dealsinthed.com. You asked about email.
I was going to, yeah.
I anticipated that.
Take that.
We do have some email.
What do we got?
Brad writes in, hey, Jay, what I'm about to tell you is not a joke. This is completely true. I'm about to melt your brain.
Whoa. I don't know.
Is this a flat Earth?
On episode 998, you guys discussed the water-powered car and speculated on what happened to the inventor. Well, here's the crazy part. The company I'm with owns every scrap of paper, every patent, every piece of hardware, and every piece of tech that particular inventor created, including the water-powered car.
Really?
Gentlemen, I give you the water-powered car.
No way.
Is this the car that you remember, Mike?
Yeah, it was some weird-looking
It's
buggy.
a freaking dune buggy, man. You didn't mention a dune buggy.
I don't know
with
if that's
Jesus
the one,
Christ
dude.
as Lord across the side.
I remember the engine. They were focused in on it, and it was like a cylinder. It looked like oh shit! I wish I knew car parts, but
well, anyway,
pull that back up. Is that just a picture of it?
That's a picture of the water-powered car, which sits in this dude's, I don't know, tech center or something. Check that shit out, though. It's labeled water-powered car, so I believe it. It's powered by water. It has to be.
Well, is he saying it's the same guy we were talking about? Because that guy won like a contest and had a patent on
Yes,
his.
the inventor was Dr. Stan Meyer from Ohio. He was believed to be the greatest inventor since Tesla. Some of his tech was and is incredible, most of which I truly can't discuss because I signed an NDA.
Oh, a non-disclosure
But
agreement?
trust me, it's fucking great shit. In fact, his technology is the basis for nearly everything we're doing here. We are creating a new process that turns shredded garbage plastic and car tires back into its base elements, namely gas, diesel, oil, solvents. It's incredible stuff. As to what happened to Dr. Meyer is indeed a bit of a mystery, Mike.
Oh, no.
The night he died, he was dining with a couple of his Belgian investors, and he ended up running outside claiming, they poisoned me! Crime was never solved. The government did attempt to interfere with his water-powered car and other energy-efficient tech, which I cannot discuss, and they did throw many roadblocks in his way. We were able to buy his entire estate and secure his patents. We have a large room at our headquarters building dedicated as a museum to Stan Meyer's work. On display are some of his drawings and hardware, and the piece de resistance, the water-powered car that still works. About a year ago, I was listening to a conspiracy podcast that talked about Dr. Meyer and how he was murdered, and that an engineering group in Michigan bought all his materials, and it turns out everyone in this engineering group was murdered. Yes, so I'm speaking beyond the grave. Crazy shit,
cool.
right?
That's incredible, that story. I could swear, though, and I could be off on the details, maybe he can email in again, but after 9/11, when George Bush instituted, what was it, the...
Patriot Act?
Patriot Act. Part of the Patriot Act was like, hey, if it's a matter of national security, we can just take whatever we want, and it's national security. You can't bitch about it because, 9/11. And this fell under that
Government
clause.
needs it.
And where,
You're a patriot.
Yes, where they were like, yoink, we'll take that. We don't need to go to court to discuss this. This is our patent now because 9/11, fuck you, ours. So is he saying that they just put up roadblocks? Because I thought that was very clear in the story.
That's what he said.
That they yoinked
now
that
I don't know who to
patent.
believe. Usually I believe you, Mike.
I'm not a liar, but I'm dumb. So I might not remember properly, but I could swear it was like they literally took that patent, no questions answered. They wouldn't answer any questions about it. That was it.
I don't know what to conclude now because Brad says one thing, you said another. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, and he's got that whole engineer tag.
He's got the water-powered car sitting in his office. I
can't produce that picture. I can't. He seems to know more about it than I do.
Dude, check out this. Speaking of trucks and cars, dirt face on the side of this Jeep. Isis, post that for the people.
Oh, that's badass.
I think we've seen this at events, right? It's a listener who chimes in or whatever on one side and dirt face on the other.
That's
pretty
awesome.
sweet. Yeah. Thanks for doing that.
Where are they getting these? Did you see Ed's truck? He's got a massive, the whole back panel. I saw it at the last event. The Detroit Cast sticker. It's huge.
Yeah, I think you can buy. I know you can buy fat heads on our store, but that's not going to stay on a car. So I don't know if maybe he was just displaying that for a picture. But these things on the Jeep, the guy just sent in. I mean, those are real vinyl decals that I think he produced. So
wow,
kind of cool.
Very cool.
John the Negrin writes in.
John the Negrin.
Hello, guys, and fuck you, Biggie. I just want to tell you about an experience I had last weekend. This is your Negrin, Montenegrin. Johnny from Fowlerville. I had to volunteer at a church in Brighton, and I didn't know what the event was until I got there. Oh, boy. Little did I know that it was a prom for people with disabilities.
Oh, what a dream.
And upon being in the room where everybody was dancing, let me tell you, the syndromes were laid out and displayed very nicely. The Mongolism was running rampant. But as I am chaperoning and keeping... So you're chaperoning, you're trying to keep them off each other?
Why?
Just let him get a hand job. Let that dude get a hand job.
You don't want to manhandle, you know.
I don't think you want to get in the way of that, right?
No.
But as I'm chaperoning and keeping my ears open to maybe hear the foreign accent syndrome, what appears in front of my eyes? 2 fidgets doing some sort of line dance in front of me. And let me tell you, I was holding in every bit of laughter because of the way you guys have trained my brain into thinking of all these syndromes. But you'd think that when I saw the fidgets, I would say, oh, that's cute. But no, my first thought was, who let him out of his cage? And how did he get off his leash?
Yeah.
So, I mean, congratulations on 1,000 episodes. I've been here for all the 1,000. I will continue to be here as long as Jay does not hit his monetary number to disappear. But, Mike, I will always be here even if Jay decides to go live in a kale forest somewhere with his wealth. Bonjour! You guys are the greatest. Well, thank you, John.
Yeah, speaking of the kale forest, didn't your wife bring over some delicious brownies for us today?
You know, I think white chicks think alike in that we received from a couple of our white chick friends almost identical gifts. We received bottles of champagne with Mylar. Mylar abounds in
Mylar's
this
awesome.
home right now. Mylar balloons going up from said champagne bottle, and nice card from Gabrielle. But
that was a very nice card from Gab.
She also gave us, some freaking healthy brownie. I don't know,
dude.
man.
Just because it's brown and chewy does not make it a brownie.
I'm gonna let you in on it.
You know,
you want to know what the base is?
No, I probably don't. But it's like, a veggie burger. It's like, no, don't mash up a bunch of beans and call it a burger.
I'm gonna let you in on a
Fuck
secret.
you.
I'm gonna
What?
let you. It's sweet potato.
Not a brownie, dude.
Sweet potatoes.
Sweet potato, dude.
Here's the reason I'll try it, because she makes a lot of things that are on the healthy side, healthier alternatives.
Some of them are really good, right?
Everyone I've had has been really good.
Yeah.
So I'll give them a try, but I'm not crazy about the fact that she's calling them brownies. They're not brownies.
I know.
There's
You
something
can't sprinkle a little cocoa in there and call it
Yeah.
a brownie. It's a sweet potato.
I mean, that's for the end user to just, like, if she opens up and goes to and go, oh, that looks like brownies. Oh, don't even think about it. Not brownies. No. Might look like them, but no.
Hey, can we do one last thing? Not to get too cheesy or whatever, but we want to thank a few people here as we round the corner from episode 999 into 1,000.
You don't have to. I appreciate it. I do.
Yeah, you can go into member
means
content to hear us thanking
the
each other
world.
and sucking each other's dicks if
It
you want
really
to.
does, Jay, but I don't.
But there's
off the air you can thank
There's
me.
been a lot of people that without whom we just would not be able to do this.
Yeah.
And of course our sponsors, the main sponsors and listener business people and our affiliates and so forth, but others who have just provided vital support and advice, and we hate to miss anyone.
On the spot, too. So many of these people, it's like...
On the spot.
It's like, the studio exploded. I'll be there in an hour.
Yeah,
and it's like, dude, how these people are able to just drop whatever and come over here and help us
They're
as much
selfless
as they
people.
have.
They love
It's
the show. They're selfless. They're
crazy.
looking out for the whole show, and
Yeah.
and we really appreciate that. We know a lot of them don't want to be identified. So here's some first names.
You know who you are.
You know who you are. Marisa, DTRBM,
Gross.
El Prez, Tooch, Craig, Charlie, Baird, Eric, Greg, Gregor, G Money,
G-Money.
Aaron, Mickey, K-Dog, Tim, Hank, Stacy, Joel, Ryan, Tom, Bob, Jim, Ed, all of our members, obviously, huge supporters.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody.
Tim Krukowski.
Tim Krukowski.
Yeah, dude, I was watching a video of him the other day playing with Sponge.
That's right. Yeah, you mentioned this. He was on Leno or something?
Dude, I can't remember. It was Letterman, or it might have been at a show. And he's got this fucking cowboy hat on, and he's skinny as shit. And he's got, a tank top on, and the bass slung low. And he's just fucking,
Yeah, man. When in Rome, baby.
fucking rock star, man. And he's shaking his ass with leather pants on. And I'm just like, look at this son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Look at this poops.
No, if anybody likes the way the show sounds, it's directly because of Tim Krukowski. So
Yeah. And the
you,
Massey stuff, too.
Yeah, and
That
we
he did.
and
That's fucking...
We could go through everyone I just mentioned and 50 more.
And we're forgetting 50
of
more.
Of course
I
we
know
are.
we
But
are.
thank you to everyone
Yeah.
who cares to listen to this drivel.
Yeah, we're saying this now because tomorrow is officially TDC 1000. And so, thank you. dude, I want to personally thank, my family and Beth and E's family, but Jay, your family, God, people, I don't want to go overdo it, but dude, there were some days early on when we were doing this where it just didn't make sense to do this.
Yeah,
it
definitely
just
didn't.
Financially, it didn't make sense. With where your family was, it didn't make sense. And Gabrielle put a shitload of trust in. You used up a lot of the trust that you had banked over the years.
You can't play this card many times. I'm quitting my job and doing a podcast card.
Yeah.
This is probably my one time.
Right.
Maybe.
And to do that with a family and have really rough times and not see anything on the horizon that looked like, oh, that'll fix all the problems. It was not fucking an easy sell. And she hung in there like a champion, as did you, because I was shocked. There were days I was like, oh, fuck, I don't think he's coming, man. And so to get here is quite remarkable, man. It means a lot to me that you guys hung in here through the hard times and obviously the listeners and everything else. I don't know. We're acting like we're going away or something, but
I am done. I thought you knew that. I'm just doing 1,000. I told you that a couple years ago.
So did I. I mean, capped at 1,000. Yeah. See how we do. So
you did realize that, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
See you later.
Bye, everybody.
So anyway, I guess we call it there. Did you want to say anything? No, you got.
No, you said it all.
Okay, cool. You don't want to thank Tony?
Sure.
Yeah.
Tony Baloney? Sure.
Yeah, there you go. Nana.
God rest her soul.
Rest in peace, Lightning Bolt. Miss you more every day. Anyway, enjoy TDC 1000. We'll see you guys soon.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.